which I'm here to confirm. I am told the team was denied access to see what is happening, where our money has gone. And I think that is really very unfortunate, because we are doing what we are mandated to do as per the Constitution. We are doing our oversight role. So I think as government, you need to guide us. Should we just sit here, appropriate money, we don't see what is being done, and we call it a day? Remember, this is taxpayers' money that we must account for. Yesterday also I received a petition from the tea growers. The petition that is Honorable Richard, who is also the chairperson of Wolga. And in this petition, they're looking at the challenges that is faced by the tea sector, where the farmers have started cutting off trees because of no market, no quality control, no herbicides for the tea. There is no legal framework for these tea growers. There is no policy in place. Unlike UCDA, that is coffee, cotton, which has, but this one does not have. So these people want a remedy from Parliament, and it is only this Parliament that can give a remedy to that effect. And I want to pursue the leader of Toro to present this petition to Parliament as per Rule 33 of the Rules of Procedure. Honorable members, on rather a sad note, on Sunday we received with a deep sorrow the news of the murder by shooting of the head of the Indiga clan of Buganda, that is Engineer Daniel Bossa Roma. I want to call upon the relevant security agencies to thoroughly investigate the cause of this incident. And in addition, we need to ensure that police make sure that all the CCTV cameras that have been installed around are operational. We may be just looking at their CCTV cameras when they are not working. We want to urge these people to ensure that the CCTV cameras are all working, so that we can be able to follow it up and see where was this incident and where did it start from, where did they start following him from. And I want to plead with the Ugandans who can be able to afford CCTV cameras equally to put cameras around their homes. But government should also come with an incentive by reducing the cost of the CCTV cameras, so that everybody should be able to have the CCTV cameras. I want to thank you for coming. We are going to look at rationalization. We are going to look at rationalization. We'll look at the bills. But there are some issues that we need to be clarified. There are two clarifications that we need on the rationalization. The two issues that we need to be clarified is, one, on the issue of certificate of financial implication. That's one. And that should come from the Minister of Finance. Two, we'll need a clarification on the titling of these bills. And that should be done by Attorney General. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I can see in the House the quorum is not enough because we are now few in the House. How shall we be able to handle?
Don't worry about quorum. The members are coming. And whoever is trying to demobilize and say we should not have quorum is wasting his or her time. The quorum will be there and we will rationalize. Gabriel?
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity emanating from your communication. Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to send our condolences from the people of Okoro constituency to the family of the leader of the Ndiga clan. It is very regrettable, and the people of Uganda should not take the law in their own hands. We should actually detest generally the murder of our citizens in cold blood. Secondly, Right Honorable Speaker, in your communication, you mentioned that the leader of opposition visited Lubowa Hospital. It is in the interest of Ugandans that the hospital should be completed and should be able to serve Ugandans. And government should know that Parliament is an arm of government, and together we shall make our country be successful and achieve its objectives. In the same note, we come from West Nile. Recently, they were working on Karuma Dam, which crosses to West Nile and northern Uganda. However, the alternative route is in Bulisa and passing through the Masishon Falls. Right Honorable Speaker, when we pass the road which is made by the government of Uganda, as members of Parliament, when we go to our constituencies, we go to do our oversight roles. Right Honorable Speaker, this thing has been mentioned in this floor of Parliament. However, I would like to ask your indulgence that as we keep on crossing, at least as members of Parliament, our government should allow us to cross that road without paying. We cross weekend in and out, and it takes some big amount of money from us. Would like to ask through your big office to really have mercy on us, especially the MPs who come from West Nile, and you pronounce yourself on this matter. Thank you very much for the opportunity, Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, you don't want to pay as only members of Parliament or members of the public? No. Is it members of Parliament you're protecting or members of the public?
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker.
By the way, there is an alternative route. You must know that there is an alternative route. But what I am asking, you don't want to pay as a member of Parliament, or you are pleading for the public, the people you represent?
Madam Speaker, there are two scenarios here. First of all, we have had instances when our roads are blocked, where you cannot use the Karuma Road because of overflooding. Now, those vehicles, even in such an emergency, are asked to pay when they are using the alternative route which is there. Secondly, Right Honorable Speaker, in this particular matter, I wanted to address the members of Parliament, because if we move even across the park, we are doing our oversight role, and it would be procedurally right that you pronounce yourself on this.
Honorable
you.
members, let's be mindful of the public, not for our own selves. It's about the people that we represent, and we should be legislating for the people that we represent, the people who sent us to this house. On the issue of the murders, Ugandans really need to be tolerant. Let's accept to live with each other, irrespective of whatever problems that could be there. Killing is not a solution. And to the people of Buganda, the people of Undiga clan, and the chairperson of Buganda Parliamentary Caucus, and generally people of Uganda. As Parliament of Uganda, we bring in our condolence on the loss of the clan leader. Please accept our condolence, and we are with you in this trying time. Yes, Solomon?
Yeah, thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, and I want to thank you for your communication. My area of interest and what I wanted to raise, Right Honorable Speaker, on your communication is the issue of cameras. Right Honorable Speaker, government committed itself to Parliament that they are going to implement and put cameras everywhere. And remember, in the last Parliament, it was supposed to be done in phases. So the question I wanted to ask the Prime Minister is, when is the last phase being done? Because there are still very critical areas that do not have cameras up to date. And yet, we agreed here in Parliament that all areas would be covered, but in phases, because the budget was inadequate at that time. So when are we concluding this whole process to have all the critical areas and roads with the cameras in the country?
First of all, as I said before, we need to find out whether all the cameras are working. And then we now go on to a rollover for the next. Prime Minister.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I want also to add on my voice to condole with the people of Ndiga clan for the loss of our brother. We pray that may his soul rest in eternal peace. All that is said on behalf of the government of the Republic of Uganda and the office of the Prime Minister. We are sorry for what happened, but I know the culprits, since we have some, even the rest will be got. Right Honorable, about the issues of, on the issue of cameras, I'm going to call the Minister of ICT and National Guidance to give us a brief
Internal
on how,
Affairs.
Sorry, Internal Affairs. Of course, they are working together with ICT. Okay, Internal Affairs. He will come and give us a brief on how far, how much area has been covered and what is remaining. Thank you.
Thank you. Workers, Emmanuel. You will all speak.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for your communication. I'm concerned about the oversight responsibility. It looks like it is slipping out of our hands. And so we need to demand once again and let the other organs know that we are still the members of Parliament and it's our responsibility. It was so heartening, Right Honorable Speaker, when I saw on TV a big team of members of Parliament who were denied to enter and see, and that was belittling Parliament. At the same time, it also reminded me about the English that we used to study when we were in primary, where we talk about Wabuduru. I think they are sealing it off and nobody should go there because it's a ghost. we don't know what is happening, because if there was some work going on, then there is nothing to fear. But also coming when they are armed and our members of parliament are not armed, it is threatening, because one of these days we might hear that someone has been shot at, a member of parliament. So something must be done, Right Honourable Speaker, to make sure that we are safe, and to know that some of our responsibilities are slipping out of our hands. And me, I'm looking at you, Speaker, and I thank you that you are able to point it out. Thank you.
I want to find out from the Attorney General, is oversight still part of the role of Parliament? Or it was scrapped off?
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, the last time I checked, it was still on the statute book. And the only way it can be removed is through this House. So, and I've been here often lately, and I have not seen any such amendment. So the oversight role of Parliament still exists. Thank you.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. We may have to repeat about these Lubowa incidents, because it's not the first time that Parliament is going there and they are denied. I remember some time back, even the Committee of Health went and they were denied. The question that we should ask ourselves, the question that government should answer is this facility there? Is it being constructed? Let them answer and say no or yes. And if we have to forget about it, forget about it. Maybe with some other words. Otherwise, Right Honourable Speaker, as the people of Jonam, we also condone with the Ndiga clan for the murder of their head. And what pains me is that in this country, we value human beings less. In other countries, one death alone can cause a lot of problems and issues. But here, people die, and 1-2 days, everybody has forgotten. Nobody cares what happens. And for instance, it's not in your communication, but look at the death which happened on the road, on Ginger Road. It's so painful. That accident, I know they are saying one person died and many injured, but from the pictures, you could see that probably more people died. So let's value life as much as possible. Even when we are talking about Lubowa, we are still talking about the value of life. So when members of Parliament are denied, then somebody needs to answer. And for me, I want to repeat, the answer that I want to hear is that this facility is there or it is not there. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honourable members, as you've heard from Attorney General, that from the last time he was here, no amendment has taken place on the Constitution. Our role is to do oversight. Can we find out from government why we are not being allowed to do our role in a facility where Parliament has put money, and remember that money is taxpayers' money?
Right Honourable, it is sad that, yes, that members of Parliament were denied to enter Lubowa. I'm going to look into that matter with the Minister of Health, because these the members had a letter from the Minister of Health. So we are going to look into the matter so that members should access that area. Thank you.
Honourable members, when you look at Article 164 on accountability, 164.3, Parliament shall monitor all expenditure of public funds shall, it is a shall, not a may. And we are saying, we are not asking for too much. We are actually helping you. And when you look at a letter from the Minister of Health, the minister just tells the leader of opposition, good luck. I wish you good luck. What does that mean? Alan?
Thank you so much, Right Honourable Speaker, for the opportunity.
To all of you.
Right Honourable Speaker, my concern goes to the death of Engineer Daniel Bossa, the leader of Ndiga clan. Right Honourable Speaker, you have guided that the responsible department should do thorough investigation, and I concur with you. But Right Honourable Speaker, the ministers responsible should also come in this parliament and give us update, because we have been having various killings of Jaja Uchuli, the minister, but we have never got any update. I think it would be procedure right, the minister responsible, specifically Minister for Security, Minister for Internal Affairs, comes before this parliament, and at least we get an update in that line.
Can we have a report on the killings? Because you have even been investigating. Nobody has ever reported about Jaja Ichuli. Nobody has reported about who again was shot. A number of them. We want a report on the floor.
And lastly,
just as Engineer Daniel has been shot, is the same way any of us can be shot. Yes. He has not finished.
Madam Speaker, lastly about Lubowa, I suggest that at least you appoint a select committee, or you assign it special powers, so that we can investigate this matter, because it has been since 2018. Parliament is pumping a lot of money that facility. Yesterday we were there.
I am going to assign my deputy speaker to go to Lubowa with the team on Wednesday. On Wednesday, the deputy speaker should go to Lubowa and they will give us a report.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. The reason I was raising on a point of procedure earlier, during the consideration of the budget framework paper, I did ask the chairperson of our committee on health why he was not reporting on Lubowa. And the Honourable Ayume told the budget committee that Lubowa has since then been moved to the office of the Prime Minister. It is no longer in health. He said it. If there are other members of the budget committee can bear me witness here. I am now shocked, Madam Speaker, that the Prime Minister now says I'm going to consult the Minister of Health. Maybe she meant another person, because the Honourable Ayume said that in our committee, and if you read the report of the committee on health, there is nothing about Lubowa. But of interest to this parliament, Madam Speaker, if you read the report of the Auditor General reports that while government is supposed to have an engineer, a resident engineer, that angel called Pineti has since then chased the resident engineer. Her resident engineer is the one submitting requisitions to finance to pay. And the Auditor General says that actually they have paid money for even no work that has been certified by over $70 million. That's the report of the Auditor General. I feel sad. The Honorable Bahati was here putting the whole parliament at gunpoint. We must approve this promissory note immediately.
Where was the gun? No. Let it be off record that there was no gun on the floor. Because nobody is allowed to carry a gun.
Madam Speaker, you will forgive
Let's
me.
change the language. Let's change the language. It was either spitting fire or whichever, but there was no gun that Honorable
Madam
Bahati
Speaker,
had.
forgive my language. I am a journalist. So that,
Okay.
that's. But if it doesn't, if people don't pick it immediately, I withdraw. So,
Okay.
but the point I made was that the Honorable Bahati, who was that time representing finance here all the time, he said we must approve this loan request today immediately, or else you are going to begin paying fines. And that project was supposed to have been constructed under 48 months. It is now 5 years. I think maybe there should be a time when these people are being matched to zero, like it happened when Amin was removed. Like his warrant in Zira should find him at the gate. Because how do you continue sitting here? You told the parliament, if we did not pass this, we are going to begin paying fines. How comes the one violating the contract
There
is
is
not
an
paying fine?
order.
Madam Speaker, the Honorable Semuju was here when we were approving this project. All of us looked at the objectives of this project. The objectives was to have a specialized hospital in Uganda to stop medical tourism. All of us approved this and we were here. So to let you know, Honorable Semuju, that when a house takes a decision, you are bound by it. Yes, and if you don't approve it, then you know the rules. So is it in order? Now the House is doing an oversight law, and you have appointed the Deputy Speaker to go there and see. Is it in order really to put a situation that I'm responsible for what is happening in Lubowa, when we have a whole Ministry of Health supervising this project?
Honorable members, the responsibility is collective to the House. It's not a personal responsibility. It's a collective responsibility. But then there is something that we need to clarify. Where they said it is ceased to be in health, it went to Prime Minister's office. Is that true?
Right Honorable Speaker, as far as I'm concerned, Ministry of Health, hospitals belong to Ministry of Health. I don't know when and where that guideline was maybe passed that Lubowa Hospital.
Honorable Prime Minister, Lubowa is not a hospital. It's a construction site.
Construction site.
It's a project
Yeah.
for a hospital.
A project. That was
But
project for the hospital.
it is not yet a hospital. Anyway, we don't know whether it is finished or whichever, because nobody can access. We don't know. So you need to clarify. You need to guide us.
Yeah, right Honorable Speaker, it is what I was trying to say, that I've never heard of that project being taken by Office of the Prime Minister. As far as I know, it is being supervised by Minister of Health. And that's why the opposition leader, Honorable, yes, he went to the Minister of Health and is the one who gave him that letter. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Speaker, let me conclude though, my submission on this matter.
You mean you
I
are not
think
finished?
yes, the chairperson of the Committee on Health is a member of this parliament. He can actually be asked, because that's what he said in the Budget Committee. And finally, Madam Speaker, on your communication about the death of the Ndiga clan leader, I saw initially part of the security, blaming the borders who chased the suspects and killed some of them. But for me, my issue, and I think colleagues who are responsible for security should help us understand, how can someone be shot and for 3 kilometers or even more, it is 1 inch chasing the suspects and there is no police? There is no ISO, there is nobody in the middle, in the city, Kampala. The murder happens and 1 inch are the one who's chasing and doing broad daylight because he was shot before 6. But he's 1 inch chasing the suspects. And because of their anger and lack of training, they did what they did. So can we be told, where is security? If a murder in a capital city can happen, and for 3 kilometers, there are no soldiers, there are no policemen, yet when the leader of opposition reports at Lubowa, every minute there is another clan of security people that are reporting, military, police, prison, everywhere, SFC. So why are they not there when people are vulnerable and helpless? But they rush very quickly where the leader of opposition is inspecting, is doing his oversight work.
But we also want to thank the civilians for being vigilant. All of us should be vigilant. What those people did by chasing these people for 5 kilometers, they did a very good job. Dr. Bed. Yes, there is a procedural matter from PP. Honorable Mbua, I've seen you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, we have lamented a lot on the issue of gun violence in this country. And we don't have any more time to continue lamenting. Madam Speaker, I want to move that we have a substantive motion in this Parliament to debate and discuss and resolve on the issue of gun violence. Because you see, receiving these reports and investigation which never come, and we will continue experiencing more death through gun violence. So I would like to know whether if it is not procedurally right for us to have a substantive motion put in this House and debated, and then we see how we can resolve and sort out this issue of gun violence once and for all. That's a procedural matter I want to raise, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable Member, that is not a procedural matter. Put the House on a notice. As per Rule 56, put the House on notice. You're a member of this House. It is not a procedural matter. Eh?
Madam Speaker, I am more than willing to bring that motion in this House.
Okay.
So that we discuss this issue of gun violence once and for all.
Honorable Chivombe.
Right Honorable Speaker, on behalf of members of Parliament from Buganda, we pay our condolences. We have lost so many in this country. And Right Honorable Speaker, for quite some time I was the Shadow Minister for Internal Affairs. And I tried to follow the matters in this country. Even when we are going to move a motion, after the death, I think, of Mr. Kawesi, the President of Uganda came to this Parliament and addressed a session of Parliament and outlined 10 solid 10 measures that were to be taken. At the end of it all, he pledged that murders will be no more. I can't remember how many motions have been moved in this Parliament on murders, but they have continued. Even where we are praising the public for pursuit, Right Honorable Speaker, we need to further investigate that, because one, a possibility of cover-up in that pursuit when you are going to capture the assailants, so that that case dies at that point, can also be executed in mob justice and complicates matters of investigation. But Right Honorable Speaker, no single case has been brought exhaustively. Even the one of Kagezi, it is only recently that we are seeing actual people being brought to book. So we are losing so many people, Right Honorable Speaker, that we may now reach a level where we demand that the President of Uganda comes back. We request, implore him to come back to Parliament to account for the 10 measures that were undertaken. And why? After the implementation, and we have allocated billions of money in cameras, billions of money in classified expenditure, billions of money, yet our people continue to die. Right Honorable Speaker, on matters Lubowa. Right Honorable Speaker, as the chairperson of the Public Accounts Committee, looked at Lubowa, and I've already issued some witnesses from Ministry of Finance to appear before the committee. But there are small matters also to sort out. You are also aware that the Auditor General did a special investigation on Lubowa. The committee, while handing over the Auditor General's report, he said it was complete.
Did they allow them in?
What?
Were they allowed in? Auditor General.
The Auditor General, in his report, they were allowed in. And they did a thorough investigation. All we are also asking is that the Auditor General produces that report to you. So that while we are considering this matter, while we are considering this matter, we can also look at the special report of the Auditor General that he has carried out on Lubowa. The details, if I answer them out that I've read, I will bias the investigation that the matter before me. But of interest, we immediately demand that special report. The Auditor General is denying that it's not yet ready, it's not yet final. While presenting the Auditor General's report, he said it was ready. We need it to complete this process.
Okay, Clerk, can you make a follow-up with the Auditor General's office? We need a report for us to know what is happening. Betty? Betty Semakula, Dr. Bed, Gorete.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. On behalf of Acholi and on my own behalf, we want to condole with the Bagandas on the brutal death of a leader and an engineer. I would like to say that I condemn this brutal death, condemn it properly, and we need to do a lot more so that this stops. I want to comment on the stopping of people from entering Lubowa. Even the minister herself in the 10th Parliament was stopped. I think I'm not lying. The Minister of Health was stopped from going to do her oversight role in Lubowa. This Lubowa is something that is beating most of us. So how I wish the President himself should answer to this, because it looks like it's defeating. It defeated even the person who acts on behalf of the President. That is the Minister of Health. That is why she said, I wish you well. Right Honorable Speaker, it is not only Lubowa that, especially us in the opposition, face a lot of challenges. Parliament spend some money, resources from Parliament, and then you go to do your oversight role and you are stopped. I remember we were stopped, and we were 12 members of Parliament stopped when we went to do our oversight role in a power. Completely by guns. If members of Parliament can be stopped by guns, Then how about the wananchi? I wish one time the wananchi could get up and rise against the power of guns. Because power belongs to the people. So they must stop killing people.
Honorable Betty, former law, don't ask it. Don't incite violence, please. Because at the end of the day, you're going to lose these people and you'll have lost your own people. You cannot tell members to go and just do that. No, that should not happen.
Madam Speaker, I withdraw.
Thank you.
I withdraw, but I want to just say, allow us also to do our oversight role.
Yes, that one is a constitutional mandate. Yes, Semakula.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, you had given cameras as one of the measures to curb insecurity. As Parliament, when we debate, we should try at times to give solutions. Don't you think it is high time as Parliament to look into taxes which are imposed on cameras, that there comes a time when cameras are not taxed, such that they can be...
I said it. I said it.
Right Honorable Speaker, in the same vein, there are several police posts which are removed of recently from different areas of the country. Isn't it high time that the Minister of Internal Affairs, General Kahindo Tafire, restores such police posts in different areas of the country, such that they can also help the curbing of the insecurity? Right Honorable Speaker, there is also another security we should discuss as Parliament. It is raining outside. There is what we call food security. I would wish, Right Honorable Speaker, since it has started raining, to know whether members are going to access seeds this time, such that if they are not budgeted for, that we can find ways how we can get money to purchase seeds, such that we can also look into food security. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Right Honorable Speaker, on the Lubowa, I want to implore you.
They have not allowed you first wait for the ruling of the Speaker.
When did you take over to be the Speaker of Parliament? Right Honorable Speaker, I didn't know that you have given your powers to Mr. Honorable Lutamaguzi is ruling on your behalf.
Honorable members, Honorable Lutamaguzi was talking about food security. I don't see a Minister of Agriculture here, but I see the Prime Minister. Prime Minister, the issues of food security. And just like the other day, I had said before you merge NADS, can we have our seeds? Can we first have a response?
Right Honorable Speaker, the Minister of Agriculture is coming on the date you will give him to come and give us a brief on the seeds and food security. Thank you.
Can I have a response on that today? All of you ministers are supposed to be in the house.
Much obliged.
Yes.
Right Honorable Speaker, you see this country has big issues. As we are speaking about seeds, in the countryside where we are, this year for some good reason we got so much rain, and we have a bump harvest of maize. But the price of maize in this country has gone to levels where it's going to discourage more people to grow maize. The kilo is now going for 400, and there is a lot of harvest in the countryside. Under PDM, he said people grow maize. They've grown maize, government can't even ensure that people buy maize. We want to know across the country what government is doing with the bump harvest of maize, and where farmers are losing crucial sums of money which they borrowed and they cannot pay back because they invested in maize.
Right Honorable Speaker, like you have ruled before, the Minister for Agriculture.
Now that is a trade.
No. She's talking about the bumper harvest of maize.
Yes. Who does the marketing? Who does the selling? It is a trade.
Let me call the Minister for Trade to come and talk about that.
Madam Speaker, there are two things that we are trying to do to save the situation for now and for the future. The first one is to look for external markets of the products that we produce. The second one is to find alternative use of the products that we produce, setting up factories, for example,
Honorable members, let's first hear from the minister, then you
for
give...
example, setting up factories for animal feeds using the products that we produce. I want to inform this House that it's not possible to have government subsidy at the moment. And coming in to control prices means government subsidy. And we should be clear to our people that we are not going to have subsidies for these products at the moment.
Honorable members, Honorable Minister, you mean there is no way government can help people on selling their products? Maize at 400, 300 a kilo?
Yeah, Madam Speaker, we are looking at alternative markets to sell our products. But the idea of coming in to control prices, to put more money to control prices is not possible at the moment.
Honorable Minister, for you to control the prices does not really need subsidies. You need a buffer system where the people can be able to store and have this sold at a later time. It's basically that.
Speaker.
Honorable members, can I have some silence? Can I have silence? I need a feedback from the minister.
Madam Speaker, when you stock, if I'm a farmer and government says I'm going to store your produce, I will need to be paid. And to be paid means government has got to put in money. And that's what we mean by subsidy. And it's not possible
Information.
at the moment. Yeah.
Madam Speaker, the answer...
Honorable members, there is a very big problem.
Yes.
There is a very big problem. Honorable Minister, come back to this House tomorrow and tell us what plans you have. Tell us the plans you have to save the farmers out there with their products, with their crops, which they cannot sell because of the pricing.
Right Honorable Speaker, you had given me the opportunity to speak. The answer to fluctuating prices for agricultural products is contract farming law. That law, we did our work, the bill, we did our work. The only way to secure a farmer is to ensure that before they go farming, they have already secured the price. Right now we are selling our maize to Tanzania at a cheaper price. After 3 months, we are going to buy it back at a very high price. And government cannot do anything. So, Right Honorable
Information.
Speaker, Right Honorable Speaker, I want to implore you that this bill finds space on the order paper so that we can help the farmers in this country.
Tomorrow we'll have it. We'll have a report from agriculture, from trade. Dan,
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Honorable members, you're all still on communication.
Right Honourable Speaker, and honourable colleagues, on that specific issue, Right Honourable Speaker, I wish it would also encompass the issue of milk prices, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, we have raised this issue 1,001 times, and no one seemed to understand us. I can see now it is biting far and wide, and we are coming up with one voice. I therefore beg, Right Honourable Speaker, that when we are finding solutions, let's not do it piecemeal. Let's look comprehensively at the farming challenges of this country. Farmers sell milk, a liter of milk at 300, Right Honourable Speaker.
200, you're saying 300.
Even 200.
Yes.
And for the last 10 years, Right Honourable Speaker, and honourable colleagues, as I wind up.
Honorable members, can you listen?
Honourable colleagues.
Mbwa. Whom do you
Honourable
want to buy?
colleagues, a liter of
Honorable
milk.
Mbwa, whom do you want to buy it? You sit. You sit. You sit.
Honourable colleagues, a liter of milk is 300.
Yes.
And
Yes, it's true.
and on the market, when the manufacturer has done only boiling and packing, they sell it at 3,000. And the government doesn't come with a solution to that effect. So, Right Honourable colleagues, I beg that if we are handling issue of prices, let's handle it comprehensively. Thank you very much, Right Honourable.
Thank you. Honorable members, I want to hear from I had given Goretti. Then Mbwa. You know why members are laughing? Honorable Kimoshe, why members are laughing? They are saying, unlike dairy, which has free grass, that they can go and graze is different from
Thank you, Right Honourable
Yes,
Speaker.
Goretti.
Right Honourable Speaker, when it comes to issues of prices of agricultural products, we need to be very careful because 70% of the informal sector is in agriculture. And we must
Honorable
be
members,
very...
let's not talk about agriculture.
Right
We are
Honourable
going to have a
Speaker.
report tomorrow and we discuss it. Let's have a report
Noted,
tomorrow.
Right Honourable Speaker. Now, Right Honourable Speaker, there is a very big elephant in this house, in addition to Lubowa. I want this house to pick interest in the money that is borrowed and is not utilized, the so-called undisbursed loans. The 14.9 trillion that accrues interest and other related funds, Right Honourable Speaker. As you pick interest in Lubowa, kindly pick interest in loans that we borrow and money is not utilized. Thanks so much, Right Honourable Speaker.
Even the money for Kampala Ginger Express Highway was borrowed and it has never been used since 2020. Nothing has happened since that time. Leader of opposition, Mbwa, then Mbwa.
I'm humbled, Madam Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker and honourable members, the issue of Lubowa, I'm so happy that Honourable Minister was denied access some time back. What was she going to see? Actually, she was helped. Her time was saved, not to waste time. I remember in 10th Parliament when we were here, she was the one with Honourable Bahati, this one, agitating and said, please give us money, the hospital will work, and we refused completely. I wish to thank, yes, hello? No. All right, Honourable Speaker, I'm already informed about the affairs of Lubowa.
There's an order. There's an order.
Madam Speaker,
I was in this house when the matter came. The Minister of Health, in the alternative presented to this house, a report and a separate request of amount of 1.3 trillion shillings, and pleaded with this house that instead of giving this amount of money, 1.4, to Lubowa, you can give it to the Ministry of Health so that the whole country can be done. That record was put and the report was part of, the report was brought to this house. So is the Honorable Mbwa in order to come and misrepresent the facts as it was presented to this house then, to the extent that the Minister of Health was the one who did that.
And it is not the Minister of Health that approved, it is the House that approved. It is a collective responsibility. It was, the mistake was by the House. And Honorable Mbwa was part of the House.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. I concede, but much as we refused, even including the Committee of Health, if you still recall, led by Dr. Bokenya.
No,
we were also one time stopped from accessing, doing our work. But Right Honorable Speaker, the matter I'm bringing about the person who is having that project, Madam Pinetti. I'm wondering, Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members.
No. Right Honorable Speaker, I have a point.
A minute.
The same person has been allocated to deal with tea.
Which tea?
Yes, recently the Prime Minister called a meeting, and among the latter, Pinetti was also part of the team. So, Right Honorable Speaker, how is Pinetti in this country?
You're shouting.
Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable, you're shouting.
Okay,
Speak
okay,
slowly.
okay.
Calm down.
Okay, thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker.
No, you calm down. You get it, eh?
I'm calm now.
I give it. We can give you some water. First, give him some water. Honorable Mbwa. Honorable Mbwa. So you can speak slowly.
Okay, thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, in your communication, you also mentioned about people who brought petition in regards to the tea. And Right Honorable Speaker, why I'm so much concerned is that we've been complaining about tea prices. The last week when, yeah, I need to take it, otherwise I might even bite some of people here. So, Right Honorable Speaker, we've been talking about tea.
Honorable
the
Mbwa,
prices have dropped
Honorable
completely.
Mbwa,
Yes.
Honorable Mbwa, I have a petition in my office. The best you can do, come and pick that petition and you come and present it to the House as per Rule 30. You be the one to present it in the House.
Most obliged.
And the earlier you do it, the better. And yes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable members, I told you that I needed 2 clarifications. And I was buying time to have my good MPs in the House. Since for them they come earlier than me, I wanted them to come. I need 2 clarifications. A clarification from the Minister of Finance on certificates of financial implication, and then a clarification from the Attorney General on the titling of the laws. But before we do that, I will hear from Kalungu. You've given yourself. Okay.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I was giving a right that the minister brings the statement about maize, that we want to know why the price of maize brand is twice higher than the kilo of maize. We need to know that. Secondly, Madam Speaker, with the issue of this rampant killing, we need to find out why are we having a lot of guns in the public. We need to find that out. For example, these people who killed the Omukuru Wechika, the head of the clan of Hundiga, these are people who are civilians. The system of people having guns irregularly, Madam Speaker, is growing day by day. Lastly, Madam Speaker, in this house of ours, we have ministers who are ex-officials. who don't have constituencies, but some of them are very irregular here. For example, there are a number of issues raised in Parliament concerning the President, and these issues must be responded to by the Minister for Presidency. But this is one of the members who are very irregular here, but is always seen in public gallery, in rallies, and elsewhere. The appointment of a minister to be Minister for Presidency is because he comes here to represent the President, and in matters incidental to the President, she has powers to respond to our issues here other than anybody, not even giving a speaker duress. Lastly, Madam Speaker, why? We are here. We are now 2 years back without having a substantive governor of Bank of Uganda. And they have taken us to court saying that the money we are using in this country is irregular. Because you cannot deputize someone who is not around. How do you deputize someone who is not around? So Atingo, the Deputy Governor Bank of Uganda, is using his name to sign on money as Deputy Governor without a substantive governor. And the Attorney General, that is yours, and the Minister for Presidency. What are you doing? Don't we have educated people to run that office? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Prime Minister, on your missing ministers.
Right, Honorable Speaker, the government chief whip came up, made a rota for ministers' attendance in Parliament. So, Minister for Presidency is not here. I think it's because of the rota for today.
Government Chief Whip. Government Chief Whip.
Right Honourable Speaker, it is known that I laid on table the rota for all ministries, departments and agencies of government. I wish you could give me some few minutes to read under office of the President, who is meant to be in Parliament today.
Okay.
Thank you.
Attorney General, on the issue of Governor.
Right Honourable Speaker, yes, as we all know, no governor has been appointed at this point, but for me, it is wrong to say that the deputy governor cannot perform those functions. Now, the question of how long it would take...
The Bank of Uganda Act does not specify how long one can act.
I beg you.
And in the absence, the Bank of Uganda Act says, in the absence of governor, the deputy will be in charge. And honorable members, you leave the man to act. Lope.
Thank you.
By the way, that position is an established position, not contingent to the governor. Let the deputy governor work. Let him work. Yes. Why you leave Dr. Ting and go to work? You work. You go to the phone. You see your calling there saying, the eyes have it. Can I have the leader of opposition in Parliament?
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, in your communication, you have hinted on several critical matters. I want to firstly join you in condoling with the family of the late now Dr. Engineer Daniel Bossa, who's been the head of the Ndiga clan. Honourable Speaker, we have had so many unresolved murders in this country, and Ugandans increasingly get agitated. They're now taking matters in their own hands. I don't think that's a place we want to be at. This mob justice is actually not mob justice, it's mob action. These are people saying, we don't trust that the killers will be brought to book, let's deal with them ourselves. Once this becomes prevalent, even innocent people along the way could suffer. I'm glad, Right Honourable Speaker, you have directed the Minister of Internal Affairs to bring a report to this House. Maybe you'll guide the duration when that should happen on all these unresolved matters, so that we know, and so that the country gets to know what's happening, and whether or not people should keep doing what they're doing, which is improper. But we need some kind of assurance from government. What is the latest? What is happening with these investigations? Right Honourable Speaker, as you did mention, I went with a couple of members of Parliament to the Lubowa hospital site. We wrote to the Minister of Health, among other things, also requesting her to join us and to take us around, or to delegate somebody from the ministry, so that we establish what exactly is going on. Parliament injects plenty of money on an annual basis to this project. The minister wrote back to me, and she indicated she couldn't make it. She had a cabinet meeting, but she signed off by saying, "I wish you a successful tour." And Right Honourable Speaker, I want to table a copy of this response by the minister. Of course, people interpreted that variously. Some to say, well, this same minister has been denied access to those very premises, and yet she's in charge. So by her signing off and saying she's glad about the tour we are doing, but signs off by saying, "I wish you a successful tour," no wonder we met the resistance that we met and we could not access. Honourable Speaker, it's important that this Parliament, and by extension the nation, gets to know who exactly is in charge of this project. Because the Ministry of Health, as far as I understand it, should be in charge of the project. We are told it is now Office of the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister has said, no, it is Ministry of Health. Yesterday, the police officers and then military and so on, they kept telling us, you have not got clearance. I said, but this project is under Ministry of Health. Here is a letter of clearance from the Ministry of Health. So, Right Honourable Speaker, government needs to tell us who exactly is in charge of this project. The Minister of Internal Affairs should also explain to this House why members of Parliament have been denied access. Not just yesterday, but even in the past. Denied access by security outfits. Why? Because as Parliament, we appropriate this money, billions of shillings on an annual basis. Why is it that now security does not want us to go and establish the money that we are sending? What is it doing? With your indulgence, Madam Speaker, I think the Minister of Internal Affairs needs to let this House know why, as Parliament, we cannot have access. You have said the Deputy Speaker should go there on Wednesday. As the Minister of Health has said, we wish him a successful tour. Right Honourable Speaker, the Minister of Health and or the Minister of Finance should give a status update to this Parliament and account for the money so far spent. Because denying us access to these premises is a clear indication that maybe there's not much going on. So, we want to appeal to you, Right Honourable Speaker.
There is a procedure matter.
Thank you, Madam. My concern, Madam Speaker, so many of my honourable colleagues have talked about Lubowa, but there was one submission that was very critical that we should have listened to properly. The Honourable Mwangachivumbi said the Auditor General went and did an audit on this project, and he was allowed time to understand the project. And he's about to bring that report to us. My procedure matter was, Madam Speaker, don't you think it would be procedurally right to wait for that report to come here? Possibly, it could answer most of the questions we're putting out, because the Auditor General, the Auditor General is part of Parliament. By the fact that he was allowed to access the site, do an audit, I believe he will give us the proper answers because he's part of this Parliament. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
Hello.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Clearly, some things don't need to be responded to. I'm sure that's why, as Speaker, you have said I proceed. Right Honourable Speaker, as I was saying, we need to compel the Minister of Health and or the Minister of Finance to come to this Parliament, give us a status report and account for the money so far that has been spent on this project, because we don't know what's going on there. We are denied access, and yet we appropriate this money. So the taxpayers are now blaming Parliament. They're saying, you people appropriate this money. What is it doing? Maybe you need to stop. So it's important that they come and account to us, and by extension to the general public. With the Speaker's permission, I can take the information.
Thank you, Right Honourable Lop. And Right Honourable Speaker, the information that I want to give this House is that the Women's Specialized and Neonatal Hospital, a 450-bed facility, was constructed at $34 million. The Lubowa Hospital is supposed to be a 200-bed hospital. And you know how much has been spent so far.
How much has been spent?
Madam Speaker.
Right Honourable Speaker.
So far, 150 million US dollars so far.
It's over 5 times. Yes, close to 5 times what was spent. Over 400 billion. I don't have the figure. Yes.
Get the information from the minister.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the total project cost under Lubowa Hospital is 379 million 789 million US dollars.
Honourable members, listen.
We have so far paid through promissory notes an amount of United States dollars $156 million.
So, Right Honourable Speaker, that's the information that I wanted this House to know as we talk about Lubowa. That with the $34 million, we were able to put up a 450-bed facility at Mulago for the women.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Love.
Thank you, Honourable, for that very imperative information. Right Honourable Speaker, we actually intend to move this House via motion that, number one, even as we wait for that accountability, because money has been spent already and the Minister of Finance has confirmed. But one, that we halt as Parliament paying any more money to Lubowa Hospital. Because they are not accountable, we cannot access to see what's happening there. Let us hold. Because otherwise the taxpayer will blame us as Parliament.